When Disney announced they were doing an Obi-Wan TV show set after Revenge of the Sith with Ewan McGregor returning and Hayden Christensen, I lost my mind. That was the only show I cared about. I don't care about any other movie they're making. I'm intrigued with the Ahsoka show. There's other little projects. Obviously, The Mandalorian is top tier. But when it came to this show, this was the show I was actually excited to watch. Obi-Wan Kenobi stars Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen and is about Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi has to save young Leia after she is kidnapped, all the while being pursued by Emperor Inquisitors and his former Padawan, now known as Darth Vader. Now this review will contain spoilers for season 1 of Obi-Wan, so go and watch it. It's all on Disney Plus right now. Come back and watch it. If you don't care about spoilers, welcome, because we're going to talk about this first season, especially that finale. But the reason why I waited a week to review this entire thing, because first off, I wanted to go back and watch the whole season in order and get my full mindset. But mostly is because I'm a little nervous doing this review right now, because I think a lot of us can agree, besides the die-hard Zack Snyder fans, Star Wars fans are honestly probably the worst. And you're looking at a guy that really enjoys the Star Wars universe, but obviously I have not been a fan of what Disney has done with it. I do think Force Awakens, I do think The Mandalorian is probably the best they've given us. I like Rogue One, I think it's a little overrated. The Solo movie is very forgettable, but when it comes to these shows, Obi-Wan was the one I was dead set on watching. I even got my mom and dad to watch this show weekly because I grew up with this Star Wars era, the prequels. I grew up with Hayden Christensen as Anakin. I grew up with Obi-Wan being Ewan McGregor, and I still think to this day he is the greatest performer in this entire Star Wars saga. He is amazing. And when I heard they were making this show, a sequel to the prequels, I was very interested, especially when Hayden was announced as Darth Vader. I was like, he's gonna be in the suit. Even though anyone could be in the suit, it's a little different when you know Hayden Christensen is in that suit. Now I want to talk about Ewan McGregor for a second, because when he came on screen, when I saw Ewan McGregor return as Obi-Wan for the first time in that premiere, I smiled. I really did, because again, I grew up with him as Obi-Wan, and I still to this day say he's the greatest performer in this entire universe. Especially after this season, I rest my case, honestly, because he is just so good as Obi-Wan. And in this show, he is a tremendous reason why those first 4 episodes were watchable for me, because those first 4 felt like a lot of extra baggage. We'll get into, but like I said, Ewan McGregor, outstanding. And when we get to the finale moment that I want to talk about for a minute, I mean, he is truly, no one can deny me. I'm going to stand my ground and say he is the greatest performance in the Star Wars universe. Ewan McGregor, I hope they do a season 2 just so I can see him more. But if this is the last time we saw him, I'm glad, because he's just so good, and they did a lot of things in this show that made his character very bitter and very older, that we are getting more into the New Hope Obi-Wan, and this show is a great bridge to that. This is a great sequel to the prequels, if you ask me, and it's all in his character is what made it so good. Let's go ahead and talk about Moses Ingram, because that is going to be a hot topic to everyone apparently. I've heard people ban and not watch this show because of her, which I think is utterly ridiculous. I will say this though, I will completely be honest, the first time we see her in episode 1, she did not come off menacing. The scene where she's interrogating Leia, I never saw her as an evil figure, never at all. But I didn't think she was doing a bad job. I mean, honestly, in those little moments though, I just truly believe I never felt the character be so evil when you have Darth Vader right next to her the whole time, basically, who is literally snapping a kid's neck, who is grabbing a ship with like one hand of the Force and just coming it down to the ground. I mean, when you see that in this show and then you see her, it's kind of unfair if you ask me. But that's where it gets to more of my issues. Her character and her being a youngling, her growing up trying to get in the higher ranks to get revenge on Darth Vader, great character motivation. It's not bad at all if you ask me. And her performance is fine. She's a good actress. In Macbeth, she was really good in that movie. But in this show, I don't think she was needed. It felt like extra baggage. I mean, for crying out loud, seeing little Leia, so cute. The little actress who plays her, perfect. Looks just like her, has the little things like Carrie Fisher. I mean, everything about her I love. But she gets kidnapped twice. We see her get kidnapped twice in the show. In a 6-episode show about Obi-Wan. To me, it felt like they were stretching things these first 4 episodes. Because we're all here to see Darth Vader and Obi-Wan face off. That is why everyone wants to watch the show so bad. To see what is Obi-Wan doing in these hills, watching over Luke, a young Luke. We want to see these little things. All of this other stuff with Leia getting kidnapped and Moses and all that kind of stuff, I never thought it really intrigued me. Nothing compared to Darth and Obi-Wan. Nothing. Now seriously, let's get straight into the meat. Let us talk about this finale. And honestly, the finale saved this entire show for me because I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. I wasn't even gonna think about reviewing it, especially how people were just talking the shit about this show. And I was like, I might just want to stay away from this show. But the reason why I'm making this video is the moment in this finale. Seeing Darth Vader face off Obi-Wan. First off, I had the lights off. It was a dark scene first off, but the lightsabers, them fighting. Didn't really care for the shaky cam aspects. I thought, even though it's trying to be very different Star Wars-like, for me being motion sickness person, I really didn't care for that. It happens a few times throughout the entire episodes. There's a few action scenes. Hell, there's a scene with Darth Vader walking down the hallway, and it's literally just a shaky cam. So in those little moments, really didn't like the direction from there, but most of it in this fight between these two characters is freaking awesome. I thought it was really, really good. The music, obviously, the music's great in Star Wars. Just their fight felt so dirty, and it felt like a build-up from the prequels to now. Like, it was a great just clash. Then in the moment of Obi-Wan slashing Vader's mask, showing off Hayden Christensen's half face, seeing Anakin's face and Darth's face, with the voice changer being Hayden Christensen and James Earl Jones' voice going in between each other, that moment between those two is a top 10 Star Wars moment of all time for me. Goosebumps, a little bit of a tear. That moment, for me, is like the reason why I love Star Wars and these characters. That moment made me appreciate certain moments in the prequels. Obviously, we get that flashback in the previous episode, which helps a little bit build up, but that moment, seeing him say that, Obi-Wan, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. Like, and seeing Anakin, like, his face, knowing he's gone. That's not Anakin Skywalker. Seeing the blue lightsaber on his face, seeing Ewan McGregor's performance of him crying and saying, I'm sorry. Those moments is just killer, and it makes the prequels so much better if you ask me. And then the moment where he fully is like, I am Vader, I am Darth Vader, and the red on his eye, and his eye being very shiny looking with the Vader mask and the voice. It was a perfect moment of showing Anakin and Vader taking over. And just Ewan McGregor can't do anything. He just can't. He's like, my friend is dead. Goodbye, Darth. And he doesn't call him Anakin. That moment is the reason, that's the only moment I would show someone to make them watch this show. Seriously, that moment is entirety beautiful, perfect, everything. That moment. I'm going to give Obi-Wan Kenobi a C. Now, dear Lord, please be just a little nice in the comments, you Star Wars fans. Oh my gosh, like I said, I was very on the bridge of even doing this video because some people love this show, and good for you. Some people think this show is awful. I'm like, there is so much good there that I have to talk about it. But there is enough just extra baggage that is so, like, not needed. But I want to know your opinion. Leave it down in the comment below. What did you think about this show? Do you think we need a season 2? Because at this moment, I don't know if we want one. I don't know if I want one. Anyway, guys, enjoy this review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.